Broadcasting live, this is your Pinoystream on AO Worldwide.
Sa Power Immunity Vitamin 1 Immune Advance. Ang 1 Immune Advance ay may quad power, may 4 times more immunity. Sangkap ay chlorophyll ng green leaves ng Lagundi Vitex Negundo at Malunggay. May non-acidic vitamin C at zinc, kaya advance ang kalusugan sa green. 1 Immune Advance, a support for a healthy immune system. Another quality product of Richcore. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube, Puno Sagip Buhay. Mahalagang paalala, ang 1 Immune Advance ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri.
Citronella magtanim, maghanda ka. Huwag maawa sa lamok, patay na! Nang andas citronella,
Andas take it away.
andas citronella.
Natural take it away.
Zinc repellent gamitin, lamok ay patayin. Tara mag-andas citronella. Mosquito, I'll kill you with andas citronella spray.
Mag-andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Mag-andas citronella.
Lagot ka, ika'y papatuyin.
Andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Mag-andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you. Andas citronella. Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Powdered tea beverage from 100% dried Lagundi leaves, all natural and organic. FDA approved. Tuklasin ang maraming health benefits ng Lagundi Vitex Negundo. May bisa sa lumalaganap na virus at bakterya na dala ay sakit sa tao. May bisa sa asthma at ubo na may plema. Pinaluluwag ang paghinga. Maging healthy, maging happy, mag-happy cha. Another quality product of Richcore. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube, Puno Sagip Buhay. Mahalagang paalala, ang Happy Cha Lagundi Tea Powdered Beverage ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit. Ang una at natatanging all-natural Derma Antibody Spray and Skin Sanitizer. Proteksyon laban sa virus, bacteria, fungi at insekto. Gawa sa pure oil at hydrosol o water ng citronella grass. Kaya natural ang ingredients ng citronella and dust. Protektado ka na. Banayad pa sa skin mo. Citronella and dust. All-natural Derma Antibody Spray and Skin Sanitizer. Another quality product of Richcore. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube, Puno Sagip Buhay.
Broadcasting live, this is your Pinoystream on AO Worldwide.
Advance, the Power Immunity Vitamin. 1 Mune Advance. Ang 1 Mune Advance ay may quad power, may 4 times more immunity. Sangkap ay chlorophyll ng green leaves ng lagundi vitex negundo at malunggay. May non-acidic vitamin C at zinc. Kaya advance ang kalusugan sa green. 1 Mune Advance, a support for a healthy immune system. Another quality product of Richcorp. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube, Puno Sagip Buhay. Mahalagang paalala, ang 1 Mune Advance ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri.
Sa buong mundo, ito ang Pinoystream, connecting Filipinas across the globe.
I-charge na
ang inyong mga device.
sumutok sa Pinoystream
Abangan ang live streaming
ng mga Adonis
at mga diwata
na magbibigay sa inyo ng saya.
dahil ikaw ang bida.
Isa-shout out ka.
At may bonus pang request na kanta.
Libre yan. Dito sa Pinoy
Stream.
Connecting Filipinos across the
Stream.
Kayo ay nakikinig sa himpilang makulang na Pinoy Stream Versatile Radio, spreading love across the Filipino nation.
Andas, ang una at natatanging all-natural derma antibody spray and skin sanitizer. Proteksyon laban sa virus, bacteria, fungi at insekto. Gawa sa pure oil at hydrosol o water ng citronella grass. Kaya natural ang ingredients ng citronella andas. Protektado ka na, banayad pa sa skin mo. Citronella andas, all-natural derma antibody spray and skin sanitizer. Another quality product of Richcorp. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube, Puno Sagip Buhay.
Citronella magtanim, maghanda ka. Huwag maawa sa lamok, patay na! Nang andas citronella,
Andas take it away.
andas
All
citronella.
natural take it away.
Siyempre repellent gamitin, lamok ay patayin. Tara mag-andas citronella. Mosquito, I'll kill you with andas citronella spray.
Mag-andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Mag-andas citronella.
Lagot ka, ika'y papatuyin.
Citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Mag-andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Andas citronella. Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Good morning po, Secretary. Sir, check lang po natin yung mic.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir.
Na kami apumakno nga nibiyagan nindat mo. Itatanda kami bikan mangat na pinghod mo. Awat mi linggop hino aya tuboblemi. He ay makiwada-wada kida kami. He ay makiwada-wada kida kami.
He ay makiwada-wada, he ay makiwada-wada kida kami.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wal barakatuh. Salam pa mga kiaulungan sintuhan. Pianaugan niya Nabi Iban Quran. Kasilasan niya sa plag pakatilingkal alam. Maglasa kita niyo bat kumana. Umbo Tuhan, tunggal nu sa sangdolan kami. Kuanin kami rijiki maglabi-labi. Lausangom rahmat nu subay pantinubji. Hangkan kita bi subay magkasih-kasih.
Sa ngalan Pangurungan, pangutuyong Espiritong kalatag mo.
Pangurumon kang busalat, pangkalikupanan. Pangurumon kang pamirayan,
kang walay sikog balantang nga makagkululang. Panginoon kang sinlakan, Panginoon kang apagatan, Panginoon kang kasangkan, Panginoon kang suwadan, Panginoon kang panguloy, Pangirayon, Pangitakan, Pangito'y watang walay sikog balantang nga makagkululang. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na mapagkala, hiling namin ang pagpapalagana ng kaalaman sa bawat nilalang.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos ng awa, bigyan mo kami ng kakayahan sa pagtataguyod ng pakikipag-ugnayan sa bawat isa.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na mapagkalinga, mangyaring ikaw at ang pagpapaunlad ng kalikasan ng tao sa mundo.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos ng pag-ibig, tulutan mo ang aming bansa ng pagkakaisa at pagkakaunawaan sa gitna ng pagkakaiba-iba.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Sa ngalan Panginoon, pangutulong Espiritong kalatag mo. Muhanin kami lijigin, maglabi-labi. Hey, ay, makiwala-wala. Hey, ay, makiwala-wala kami. Hey, ay, makiwala-wala kila kami.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Norly Villar from the DOST Science and Technology Information Institute, and I hope everybody is safe and having a good day today. We are still in the middle of the pandemic, but we keep our high spirits, and no matter how difficult things may seem, we made it through, and we at DOST are optimistic that we can weather the odds together. So it is with pleasure to have you all with us today to present to you DOST's responsive science, technology, and innovation initiatives. Last year, the DOST proudly ushered with big hope and enthusiasm the Big 20 in 2020. Our 20 significant programs that bannered our S&T initiatives with the goal of bringing science to the people. But as we all know, throughout 2020, we were faced by a global pandemic, which posed great challenges on how we go about our daily lives. But in spite of the general fear and uncertainty, the pandemic highlighted a very crucial fact that science, technology, and innovation is needed more than ever. So with this purpose in mind, unfazed by the pandemic's obstacles, the DOST marches forward with its responsive programs. And with that, today it is our honor and pleasure to present to you this year's Big 21 in 2021. The Big 21 in 2021 is a compilation of technologies, R&D projects, and flagship programs of the DOST being implemented by our different agencies and offices together with the academe, public, and private institutions. This highlights the essence of cooperation and collaboration, especially during hard times. So the Big 21 programs are grouped into 6 different categories, and it cut across several sectors. Our Honorable Secretary will provide more details on this in this presentation later in the program. But of course, before we proceed, we would like to first acknowledge and thank our guests who are present today, our officials from different government agencies who are here with us today, our partners from LGUs and the academe, and of course, our colleagues in the DOST and our friends from the media. Maraming salamat po for attending today's activity. And to formally start our program, we now call on our Undersecretary for Research and Development, Dr. Rowena Cristina Guevara, for her opening remarks.
Thank you, Norly. Secretary Fortunato de la Peña, Undersecretary Renato Solidum, Undersecretary Sancho Mabora, ASIC Dayan, ASIC Lea, ASIC Doneth, and ASIC Ted, Director Burgos, Director Ray, Director Eric, Director Jimmy, Director Lilia, Director Rowan, Director JC, Director Jojo, Director Nancy, Miss Emmy, Director Ernie, Director Armand, Director Annabelle, Director Bob, Director Mel, Director Franz, Director Cesar, our guests from other government agencies, our partners from local government units, co-workers from DOST, our friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, magandang agham po sa ating lahat. The year 2021 featured a rapidly evolving world with an increasing demand for technology and innovation. The new normal, or the now normal, spurred the need for new inventions, enabling society to function amidst a health crisis. When the pandemic hit the country in early 2020, the DOST focused its initiatives on the immediate need to detect and protect each one of us against COVID-19. Later on, we channeled our efforts on retooling the country. Given the escalating health concerns, we saw that businesses have new attitudes towards digitization and the demands of running the country in a contactless environment. Today, we are proud to present to you the Big 21 in 2021, a showcase of DOST's efforts and initiatives aimed at helping our country recover from the drawbacks brought about by COVID-19. Highlighting the list are a number of health technologies as scientists, chemists, and researchers harness the power of omics to accelerate the innovative yields in food and nutrition. Secretary de la Peña will also reveal the latest updates from the Tuklasin Natin R&D program. Beyond pharmaceutical applications, this program aligned with other industry support programs of the DOST, such as the Science for Change program, or S4CP, enabled income-generating components to support local private industries, local communities, and even our indigenous groups. As DOST continues to support local government efforts in curbing the pandemic through health and hygiene innovations, we are also mindful of the need to propel regional development. To be revealed later are 10 recently approved niche centers in the regions for R&D, or NICER, a sub-program of the Science for Change program aimed at promoting inclusive growth that will benefit the research community and industry by increasing the number of developed and transferred technologies. The Big 21 in 2021 list will also uncover some facilities built to enable global capability and competitiveness in the manufacturing sector. With the ongoing health crisis, disruptive technologies or innovations to enhance digitization, workforce improvement, and competitiveness in metals and engineering industries will be presented later. Throughout history, a crisis, no matter what shape or form, presents an opportunity for collaboration and support. The pandemic we're facing presents challenges that require scientific interventions and change in policy. We're currently lobbying for the passage of the Science for Change bill, which aims to put the Philippines within the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO benchmark for a developing country with an R&D budget equivalent to 1% of the country's GDP. The Science for Change bill will promote inclusive, equitable, and sustainable development through the optimal use of the R&D budget allocated to different government departments and agencies. Beyond funding, we also plan to augment our R&D manpower through the DOST Science and Technology Fellows Program. It is our sincere hope that our policymakers will rally behind our proposal and support the scientific programs and projects of DOST. You will witness in the Big 21 reveal the potential of a future shaped by research and development. A post-pandemic scenario may mean a future totally different from the world we experienced before COVID-19. However, through R&D, we have the means to innovate, possess the adaptive capacity to grow and change for the better. This is how R&D makes positive changes happen for our country and the world. Maraming salamat po at muli, magandang agham sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, Yusek Gev. Indeed, through R&D, we have the means to innovate, grow, and change for the better. And R&D can make positive change happen for our country and the world. And now to also give this inspirational message, we have our Undersecretary for Scientific and Technical Services, Dr. Renato Solidum Jr.
A pleasant day, everyone. We are now in the second year of one of the most, if not the most difficult time of this generation. Amidst the chaos brought by the global pandemic and other natural disasters, like the raids of Taal volcano, the storms and the flooding, the importance of science, technology, and innovation, or STI, has been more evident in the way we confront these challenges. We see the light through STI. Even before this trying time, the science community, together with the Department of Science and Technology, has been pulling strings together to find solutions to pressing problems, offer alternatives to improve our ways of living, and to keep up with the fast-changing technologies, especially now as we enter the fourth industrial revolution. Today, we are featuring 21 responsive technologies, programs, and innovations made by our local scientists, researchers, and innovators through this Big 21 in 2021 Technology Catalog. May each page of this testament inspire everyone and tickle our innovativeness and creativity to use STI for a better life for every Filipino. 2 of the 21 featured innovations in this catalog are very close to my heart as they help us in preparing for the inevitable. The DOST FIVOX developed the latest probabilistic seismic hazard model called SAM-PH, or the spectral acceleration maps of the Philippines. This will assist our civil and structural engineers, building designers, urban planners, and risk modelers in the seismic design of engineering structures and facilities to make our place a safer place to live in. Also featured in this catalog are the early warning systems and observing stations established by DOST Pag-asa that will strengthen our flood monitoring and forecasting capabilities. I assure you that the rest of the featured innovations are equally interesting. I invite you all to take advantage of this valuable information. Join us and be part of the solution. Let us support our Filipino scientists, researchers, and innovators. Together, let us make science for the people. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Stay safe, everyone.
Maraming salamat po for that message, Yusek Rene, and thank you for rallying support for our researchers, scientists, and innovators. Indeed, with the support of the whole society, we can make science to be truly for the people. Now, we move on to the highlight of the program, but before we go into the details of the Big 21 programs, let us first have a glimpse of what's in store for us through this video.
In the first quarter of 2020, the DOST proudly ushered with big hope and enthusiasm our 20 significant programs, which we called Big 20 in 2020. We bannered our responsive S&T initiatives with the goal of bringing science to the people. But throughout 2020, we were met with a global crisis of unprecedented magnitude. The pandemic loomed in our midst. We are impeded to move, challenged to go forward. There was gloom, fear, and uncertainty. But in spite of the fear and uncertainty, the pandemic highlighted a crucial fact that science, technology, and innovation is needed more than ever. That science, technology, and innovation is critical for us to survive and recover after the pandemic. With this mission in mind, unfazed by the pandemic's multifarious obstacles, the DOST marches forward with its responsive programs by introducing the Big 21 in 2021. The DOST Big 21 in 2021 is not only a label, it is a symbol of hope during uncertain times. Science, technology, and innovation interventions to address the needs of now and prepare for the concerns of the future. 21 S&T initiatives that bring out the best in our men and women, health and nutrition, nicer projects, industry, disaster preparedness, S&T human capital, S&T education and communication, S&T vision, livelihood, and community empowerment. Leading the pack are our interventions on health and nutrition, having learned a few lessons from last year. The much anticipated Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines and Biosafety Level 2 Plus Laboratory as critical establishments to look out for. An enhanced genomics program called Ugnay 2.1 will accelerate the innovative yields in food and nutrition. Side by side with the use of medicines and vaccines, DOST also pursues clinical trials of herbal drugs and supplements as treatment or adjunctive therapy against COVID-19, such as Lagundi, Tawa-Tawa, VCO, which are largely found in the country. The treatment of dengue without warning signs among adult Filipinos through our Tuklas Lunas program to confirm the efficacy and safety of a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial using an orally administered fixed-dose combination capsule. Maintaining order in mobility during pandemic restrictions is equally a necessity in health interventions. Our home-originated digital app, the S-Pass, makes going through borders swifter and more efficient. Two important research studies on COVID-19 were initiated. One is seroprevalence of SARS-CoV-2 in the pediatric and adult age groups in selected communities in the Philippines. The other one is clinical characteristics in transmission patterns of COVID-19 in confirmed cases and their contacts in the Philippines. Both surveillance studies will help us understand the infection patterns associated with the disease and come up with appropriate recommendations and guidelines. We move to the area of industry, which also suffered tremendously from our series of lockdowns and work stoppages. First of the responsive moves is the inauguration of the Simulation Packaging Testing Laboratory and soft launching of Green Packaging Laboratory. Then we have the Advanced Manufacturing Center or AMCED, and also the Advanced Mechatronics, Robotics, and Industrial Automation Laboratory. And to make the regions equally responsive is the establishment of Metals and Engineering Innovation Center in Cordillera Administrative Region, Regions 1, 2, 3, and 10. These state-of-the-art facilities, including the launch of new EPDC product, the breath simulator will not only make our products and services truly relevant, but will also catalyze improvement and innovation in the industry. Our dealings with nature and the environment, which is sometimes severe and unpredictable, also determine our safety in disasters that often batter the country yearly. Some PH Atlas, a collection of spectral seismic ground motion hazard maps, is useful for urban planning, structural design safety, and disaster risk reduction. Simultaneously, our early warning systems will be in place for enhanced weather and flood forecasting. These programs will provide science-based information tools for disaster-related planning, informed decision-making to make appropriate preparations and timely mobilization of resources. Agriculture. Our country's primary preoccupation takes on a more sophisticated spin with Sari Buhay or Sari-Saring Buhay, a specialized docuseries on TV and online platforms will educate the citizenry on the importance of environment protection and conservation. And while good income is also possible for decorative plants nowadays, we are pursuing the establishment of the Innovative Tissue Culture Laboratory or iLab for ornamental plants in Giginto, Bulacan. The iLab will help farmers to quickly propagate plants with desirable traits. Parallel to what we do as a science institution is our commitment to education and communication. Here, we have our MOOCs or Massive Open Online Courses. Its industry-geared courses, Industry 4.0, will equip Filipinos to become workers of the future. In the pipeline is also a new set of Science for the People or SFPP Book Series 2021 edition. The books are designed to make knowledge of DOST's accomplishments enlightening, awe-inspiring, but down-to-earth. Investing in our human capital. S&T Fellows Program for R&D continues to build a critical mass of S&T workers in the country. R&D experts are currently at par with the world. To serve as our S&T blueprint for the future, we intend to draw up a comprehensive development plan called Philippine STI Foresight and third-year Strategic Plan 2019-2015. This development plan chronicles salient features our S&T vision of a more progressive citizenry and nation. The last three initiatives highlight the work in the countryside. Set up or small enterprises upgrading program, one of the longest running flagship programs of DOST, will now be gearing towards industrialization through Setup 4.0. Similarly, the community empowerment through S&T or CEST is our inclusive strategy to help our marginalized sectors like our IP communities, women's groups, and those that belong among the fringe of society. By adopting the ST4K strategy, 21 selected communities will be empowered with various livelihood options. Utility needs improvement like water and electrical capability, and also education, even through a library in a box that requires no internet. And to cap the robust offerings is the Niche Centers for R&D program or NICER. 10 NICER projects will be the focus, each highlighting the region's aces in research and development. The niche centers in R&D are as follows: advanced batteries, environmental technologies and compliance, coastal engineering research, smart water infrastructure management, lakes sustainable development, sustainable polymers, vector of diseases for public health, integrated protein R&D, biomaterials for diagnostics and therapeutics R&D, and neurorobotics technology program. We will soon roll out these offerings for all, learning from our past, making sure that no one is left behind. We have been battered, but now better. Stalled, yet still moving on. Encumbered, but all the more encouraged. Now fighting on more than ever, determined to win. 21 in 2021 through DOST will continue on its halted journey, ever focused in its goals, and consequently realizing its dreams.
All right, so I think that is just a teaser of the Big 21, and to give more details on what the Big 21 is all about, we have no less than our very own secretary to present to us the details. And at this juncture, we call on our Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña to present to you the details of the DOST's Big 21 in 2021.
Thank you, Norley, and warmest greetings to everyone who are joining us in this virtual presser, to all my co-workers at the DOST, the undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, the agency heads, the regional directors, and all our colleagues. Good morning to everyone. I think I will not really be giving more details than what was already presented, but I just would like to share with you my thoughts on this Big 21 in 2021. As you all know, the pandemic started last year, okay, the year 2020, and well, of course, earlier than that, but here we actually consider 2020 as the start of the pandemic here, and we wanted to give some news or good news to our fellow Filipinos, okay, even if we were in the midst of the pandemic. And the year 2020 was something looks like perfect figure, you know, when you talk of 2020, it's perfect vision. Anyway, the idea was to pick the 20 projects or programs that we have accomplished or we have launched in 2020, okay, that we think have high impact on us. And so we asked our agencies, our regional officers to suggest, okay, the big projects that they have, and we will choose the top 20 in terms of impact. And so we did that, and this year, 2021, we are still in pandemic mode or environment, and we continue with this so-called tradition of sharing information on our projects, and we call it Big21 in 2021. And so after receiving the different suggestions from our agencies and our regional offices, we came up with the choice of the Big 21 from the point of view of our own management. And we categorize this into the following groupings. We have the launching or inauguration of new state-of-the-art facilities in the DOST system. We have the new R&D programs, new products that have been developed out of R&D, and the so-called NIST research centers in our regions. Okay, so that is another group. We put together the initiatives that we had in COVID-19 and put that under one group. Again, of course, it's not an exhaustive listing. We picked out, we chose the projects that we think have really contributed much impact. And of course, we have the productivity and empowerment achievers. These are the people, the enterprises whom we have helped, and which really showed, okay, a very good performance and shall we say very good implementation with good results, okay, out of the help that we extended to them. We also had a category on enhancing human resource development and human resource management, okay, and you will see this later. And lastly, we have the so-called governance milestones. So I will go through each of this category and enumerate the projects or the programs under each of them. All in all, 21. Okay, so we start with the new state-of-the-art facilities. Next slide, please. As you well know, well, we are running a science and technology enterprise. Okay, the DOST is a family of agencies, and it's really an S&T enterprise, and we can only contribute so much. Okay, corresponding also to the inputs that we are getting, and we realized from the beginning of our term in 2016 that there are many new facilities that we need so that we can be able to carry out our mission better, and so that we can achieve the goal of inclusive development, sustainable development, and competitiveness. And here are the there are 7 that we are featuring in the new state-of-the-art facilities that will really be of service to industry. And the first one is the Advanced Manufacturing Center, which we opened last July. It is expected to improve our country's manufacturing capabilities, including the micro, small, and medium enterprises to drive the growth of our economy. This is actually a twin facility. One is devoted to the additive manufacturing and modeling facility, and the other one is devoted to the development of advanced materials for additive manufacturing. The first one, the additive manufacturing facility, is located, of course, at the MIRDC, the Metals Industry Research and Development Center, while the Advanced Materials Development is with the Industrial Technology Development Institute. The second facility that we opened this year, and by the way, when we talk of the Big 21, most of them have already been opened and launched and started to be used or implemented earlier than today, meaning to say from the early part of January up to today. And the rest, okay, will still be inaugurated, launched, or completed in any of the months of September, October, November, or December 2021. But the condition is that they should be ready by the end of 2021. So we have the Advanced Mechatronics, Robotics, and Industrial Automation Laboratory, which we call AMERIAL. It is another new facility at the DOST Metals Industry Research and Development Center. And this is the facility which we hope can help our enterprises to move towards the so-called Industry 4.0. Okay, so this will be targeting our local manufacturing as they shift to more of automation and the so-called the state-of-the-art technologies. The next one, the third one, would still be under the Metals Industry Research and Development Center, or MIRDC. You know, we have clamor from our clientele in the regions that we should have the kind of services MIRDC is offering in the regions. But we are constrained to do that. Of course, we were told by DBM we cannot just set up regional offices because these are really going to require a lot of resources to set up the regional offices for MIRDC. So the innovation that MIRDC thought was to install what we call metals and engineering innovation centers in the regions. And we have our state universities and colleges or universities in the regions as partners. So we started with the first group, regions Cordillera, Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, and Region 10 for the first 5 of these metals and engineering innovation centers. They can be used for research purposes, for training purposes, and of course to develop new products and prototypes and to help the metals and engineering sector in the regions to address their concerns. Okay, so these have been launched last month, and we hope that in 2022 onwards, we can still continue to set up more in the other regions, okay, with the target of having 1 metals and engineering innovation center per region, just like our food innovation centers, which can be found in every region of the country. Next item, still on the state-of-the-art facilities. This is a twin facility under the packaging technology division or packaging research division of our Industrial Technology Development Institute. And these 2 separate facilities, but we are launching them together under the facilities for packaging. And what do these facilities serve, or what do they do? Let me tackle first the Green Packaging Laboratory. Today, our people, our customers, our manufacturers are all concerned about packaging that will be functional, at the same time lower cost and environment friendly. And this is where the Green Packaging Laboratory will play its part. In the other case, the Simulation Packaging Testing Laboratory is a facility that we can use, okay, to simulate the, shall we say, the rugged path that the products go through in moving from the supply to the from the supplier to the consumer or the buyer. Okay, and here we know that packaging protects the product which is inside, and we have many kinds of products really that when subjected to stress during transit can deteriorate or can be destroyed. Okay, and so we need packaging to protect this. And we also have to make sure that the packaging we use will really withstand the stress that it will undergo in transporting them from source to the customer or user. Many of these are exported and therefore go through a chain of transport, shall we say, stages, okay, and they have to withstand all these, shall we say, difficulties faced along the way. So we have the simulation packaging testing laboratory and the green packaging laboratory. The next facility, item 5, is again, it's something very unique, and I credit Region 3, DOST Region 3 for this. Some of you may be aware that in Bulacan, particularly in Giginto, Bulacan, this is the town where you exit when you exit in Tabang, okay? And one can see upon exit, and when you are about to reach the MacArthur Highway, that there are hundreds of small enterprises engaged in the sale of plants, most of which are ornamental plants. And, you know, there are many ornamental plants now that command very high prices. And the challenge there is how to propagate and propagate in bigger quantities more rapidly, because the conventional methods that they use, okay, allow them to produce only limited numbers within a certain period of time, okay? And so it was thought of that tissue culture can be applied in the propagation of these ornamental plants. And between the discussions of our DOST Regional Director, Dr. Sikat in Region 3, and the Mayor of Giginto, Bulacan, Mayor Cruz, they agreed that they will collaborate in putting up an innovative tissue culture laboratory, which we call iLab, for ornamental plants. Giginto took care of the venue, of the place, the land and the building that they financed to be constructed. And it is DOST, okay, through Region 3, that will be taking care of the facilities needed in the tissue culture laboratory. It was also agreed that in terms of operation, there will be collaboration between the Bulacan State University, the DOST, Region 3, and with the support of the local government of Giginto, Bulacan. So this will help the growers there to quickly generate identical mature offspring of one plant with desirable traits, okay, and highly desirable features, especially for commercial large-scale production of these ornamental plants. Next slide, please. This will be launched in December. Now, meaning to say complete and operational already. The sixth one comes from our Pag-asa, and this is really the 2021 shall we say, contribution to the Pag-asa modernization. And this actually includes the operation of the latest 3 Doppler radars and the opening of 4 flood forecasting, okay, and monitoring centers. Okay, so that plus the high frequency radars that will be used in the coastal area. Next slide, please. Now, in preparation for what we have been proposing, the Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines, our DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute, considering that they are in the best position to start the projects under the said proposed Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines, have installed within ITDI, the first biosafety level 2+ laboratory within the DOST system. And this will help, okay, or actually it is a needed facility in carrying out the initial projects that are that have been started, of course, with the grant of funds coming from BBM, Okay, this 2021, even if the Virology and Vaccine Institute has not yet been created by law, and the same is true for 2022, wherein DBM also included the allocation for R&D programs or projects under the Virology and Vaccine program. Next slide, please. Now we move on from the state-of-the-art facilities. These are the R&D programs, products, and niche research centers that are new, okay? And we think will create or has created impact, okay? Practically all of these are already done, and we are reporting them now. The next slide will show the first one, which is actually a new R&D program, which we call the Nutritional Genomics Program, implemented by our DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute. It is expected to contribute to the growing knowledge and capability on nutritional genomics, leading to omics-based methods to predict disease susceptibility, early detection of nutritional deficiency and excess, and accurate identification of nutrition-related diseases and the impact of dietary signals in the genome. So this is something that will handle the differences among individuals in terms of nutritional, shall we say, requirements. Two people may be of the same height, same weight, okay, same age, but because of the genetic factors, may be more susceptible to different kinds of diseases and actually would require different nutritional inputs. Next slide, please. Item 9 is the Tuklas Lunas program. Of course, Tuklas Lunas program has been running for a number of years now, but for 2021, we are proud about the 23 standardized dosage formulations that has activity for hypertension, gout, inflammation, diabetes, that are available as supplements for technology adoption. So these are now announced to the public. We cannot do all the work at DOST in converting them from the active ingredients to the end product, which is the medicine, because the clinical trials will require a lot of expenses. But we are opening this to our pharmaceutical manufacturers, okay, through licensing agreements with DOST or with the university, which actually did the work, so that they can go ahead with clinical trials and come up with the necessary medicines derived from this biodiversity. Okay, so take note, we now have 28 partner institutions. Next slide, please. Now, this is something innovative, and this comes from our DOST card. They call it the Sari Buhay series. It is about an R&D program, but this is more of information dissemination. It's a science and technology specialized documentary series or docu-series on television and online platforms that will serve as a communication tool to educate the citizenry on the importance of environmental protection and conservation. Okay, this visual presentation on TV takes us in a journey towards the country's rich biodiversity, providing an in-depth and wider perspective on the scientific and technological conservation and research efforts that are being done by our scientists and researchers. So these are presented in an educational and entertaining fashion, no? And edutainment, okay, as they call it. Okay, so let us take a look at the other slides that will give us a better idea of Sari Buhay. Next slide, please. Here we have the component on terrestrial biodiversity, and our research partner here, or the research implementer, is Cebu Technological University, okay, and Central Mindanao University, one in the Visayas and one in Mindanao. Actually, the program that they are running actually aims at a nationwide resource assessment of flora and fauna, okay? And the title of their programs are shown here: Flora and Fauna Assessment Using Permanent Biodiversity System in Cebu Island and key island biodiversity areas, and biodiversity in selected mountain ecosystems of Mindanao for the conservation and sustainable development of this biodiversity. And here you can see documented discoveries of new species of flora like orchids and native trees, and fauna like the Philippine pit viper, endemic and threatened bird species, snout beetle, pygmy grasshopper, and of course these are all announced and disseminated to the public. They are potential sources also of new products and can be used for future breeding activities. Next slide. The next slide, still on this Sari Buhay, covers marine biodiversity. And there are a number of implementing agencies, universities actually from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. As you can see here, UP Diliman, Davao del Norte, State College, Western Philippines University, De La Salle University, UP Los Baños, UP National Institute of Geological Sciences, UP Mindanao, UP Visayas, Samar State University, and the University of San Carlos. This actually consisted of 7 projects, and the significant outputs include, among others, the science-based information generated from the documentation of deep water biodiversity in the Benham Bank Seamount that paved the way to the declaration of 50,000 hectare Benham Bank as a marine protected area, and over 300,000 hectares as a special fisheries management area through proclamation number 489. Now let us move on to the next slide. This is still on the Sari Buhay program, where you have the documentation of the indigenous vegetables. This component is the documentation of indigenous vegetables in the Philippines that were surveyed and characterized and promoted. You know, easily there will be probably more than 600 vegetable species or varieties in the Philippines. But if you ask an ordinary Filipino how many vegetable names they know, maybe I myself can only name 15 vegetables. But you see there are hundreds of them. And they are found in different places of the country, indigenous plants that are usually grown by the natives of the place, not cultivated yet in backyard scale, and therefore are underutilized and overlooked despite being good sources of food, nutrients, and even income. So we would like to share this information to our fellow Filipinos. There are also livestock, particularly the native livestock that we are promoting, coming from the different provinces. Next slide, please. Now, item 11 here is the spectral acceleration maps of the Philippines, or the SAM-PH Atlas, which provides science-based probabilistic information for structural engineers and building designers, as a basis in developing structural design for essential, critical, and high-risk structures that are designed to withstand intensity 8 earthquake or stronger. So this is really an atlas which tells you what are the risks, in a particular area of the country, in a particular location, so that you can prepare, the structural strength and integrity of the design to withstand, seismic, high seismic vibrations. Next slide, please. Now we move to an item which actually consists of 10 centers. The NICER centers is one of the bigger components of our Science for Change program, which, by the way, we are hoping to be passed into law. And NICER refers to the niche research centers in the regions. Our aim, is to have inclusivity or inclusiveness also in the area of S&T, or Science and Technology Research and Development. We have to build capability in the regions because they have unique problems that they face there that can be addressed for science and technology, and they have unique opportunities also. Well, later on, they can grow into national centers of excellence. Now, okay. Now here is the first of the 10, the Center for Advanced Batteries, led by the Technological Institute of the Philippines and the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Next slide is the Center for Environmental Technologies and Compliance, which is implemented, or this is under the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Manila, Adamson University, and UP Diliman. Next slide. The third NICER here is the Coastal Engineering Research Center, okay, which involves the Mariano Marcos State University, the Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University, and the University of the Philippines. So you have one from Ilocos Norte, one from La Union, and of course from Quezon City. So the center will help build resilient communities by reducing agricultural and fishery losses due to disaster, okay, because of their location. When extreme events occur, okay, in the coastal areas. Next slide, okay, still on NICER, is the Smart Water Infrastructure and Management, or the SWIM R&D Center, implemented by Isabela State University, Cagayan State University, and Quirino State University. So DOST has been funding these R&D centers, well, at least for the initial years. And our goal really is to strengthen the capabilities in these universities in this area. So the center will enable an increase in water availability for domestic water supply, also the reduction in agricultural damages during drought and extreme rainfall, and of course improved water quality and sustainable utilization of groundwater resources. The next slide will deal with our, I think this is already the 5th item or 6th, the Center for Lake Sustainable Development. And this is implemented by the Laguna State Polytechnic University and the University of the Philippines, Diliman. This is intended to increase resilience and adaptation to climate change built among vulnerable lake communities in the Calabarzon areas. But later on, the knowledge can be applied in other parts of the country. Next slide, please. The next NICER is the Center for Sustainable Polymers, which is located at the Mindanao State University in Iligan Institute of Technology. Remember my mention of green materials. I think this one fits that description. The center will provide market-ready products that are not only cheaper, okay, but would serve as substitutes for the petroleum-based materials that are currently being used. Next slide, please. We have the next center, which is the Center for Vector Diseases of Public Health, and this is with the De La Salle University Laguna campus in collaboration or in partnership with the University of the Philippines, Diliman. So this is really dealing on insecticide resistance knowledge in the community, for example, addressing dengue, and of course, to reduce disease occurrence from mosquito-borne diseases. Next slide, please. I think there is a mistake there at the end of that description. It's not 16 billion, it's 16 million. Okay. Now we have the next NICER, which is the Integrated Protein Research and Development Center, which is a biotechnology facility for health at Ateneo de Manila University. And this will involve the local production of core proteins and vital equipment that will help in increasing the country's ability to address the emerging variants and pathogens, to catalyze the strategic growth of R&D-driven local biotechnology and biopharmaceutical industries. Next slide, please. This NICER is on biomaterials for diagnostics and therapeutics, and I'm very happy about this. This is being implemented by Angeles University, of course, in Region 3, wherein they have strengths in the medical and health sciences. And this R&D center that has been put up here will function as a training ground for biology, medical laboratory science, medicine, and health science, and also provide opportunities for student health innovators to explore and develop their potentials. And the R&D will contribute to the increase of capable medical laboratory scientists and, of course, products that they will produce. I guess, is there still on NICER? Next slide. This probably is the last, the Center for Neurorobotics Technology. And this is located at the Institute of Biomedical Engineering and Health Technologies of De La Salle University. Okay? It will provide neurorobotic solutions for a variety of health-related conditions by developing and innovating technologies, products, and services through collaboration and partnership that will bring neurorobotic R&D from the laboratory to the market. Next slide. We move on to the initiatives to address COVID-19. Next slide will show us item 13 in the Big21, this project under the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development is entitled Clinical Characteristics and Transmission Patterns of COVID-19 Confirmed Cases and Their Contacts in the Philippines. This will be of big help to our Department of Health regarding guidelines for case isolation, contact tracing, and disease control and prevention by understanding the transmission patterns. Okay, next slide, please. Item 14. This is regarding the clinical trials of natural products against, as adjunctive therapy against COVID-19. This includes Lagundi BCO, okay, and Tawa-Tawa, which has been used as a health supplement for dengue patients. Next slide, please. We are now in item. Next slide. So this is on Tawa-Tawa and BCO. And next slide. We have reported on this quite comprehensively. Next slide, please. Okay. Another item in the COVID-19 initiatives is the project of the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine funded by DOST. And this is the seroprevalence of SARS-CoV-2 and the determination of viral neutralization characteristics of antibodies detected, okay, in communities in the Philippines. Okay, so we are almost sure that these projects will report its findings before the end of the year. Next slide, please. We have this Safe Sweep and Smart Passage System, SPAS. Again, I would like to give credit to our regional office, Region Office number 6. They developed this SPAS system for use in Region 6. And other officials learned about it. So somebody suggested at the IATF that this become a national program. And so it was adopted. And today, I think it has covered more than 85% of its targeted number of provinces and chartered cities. Okay, they have targeted initially 81 provinces and 41 chartered cities, from my recollection. Okay, and so it's very useful for travel management. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, another one under COVID-19 initiatives is the breath simulator, which was developed because of our need for a testing equipment that can be used in the testing of locally made ventilators, respirators, and other respiratory devices before they are deployed in hospitals, okay, to ensure quality and performance. So this breath sim, or the DOST breathing simulator, is like an artificial lung, was developed by the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute and its partner from the private sector, the Electronics Industry Association of the Philippines Incorporated, or IAPI. Next slide, please. We have now moved to the Productivity and Empowerment Achievers group under our Big 21. Next slide, please. We are now in item 16, and this is our assistance to the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector in our industries. And the idea here is to utilize our existing small enterprise technology upgrading program or setup and convert it into a setup 4.0, okay, with Industry 4.0 technologies as a target, as target technologies to be adopted by our enterprises to become more competitive. So that will include the use of Internet of Things, big data analytics, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, robotics, among others, to help our enterprises. Next slide, please. This is still in under the Productivity and Empowerment Achievers. And here, this coming November, during the celebration of our National Science and Technology Week, we will recognize 21 communities in the country that had shown excellent results or dramatic changes in the lives of their people in their community by using the interventions that we introduced to our community empowerment through science and technology program. Next slide, please, which is now item 18. This is now covering enhancing human resource development and human resource management. Next slide, please. The next slide actually is a new innovation in terms of utilizing our the services of our scholars that where we have invested in. Okay, so we have experienced that there are many graduates of our PhD programs and even MS programs. They want to work, do the R&D that they have learned to do while pursuing their advanced degrees. But you know, there are very few available plantilla items in government, whether it is in the research and development institutes or whether it is in the universities. The same is true in the private sector. Very few are really hiring people with advanced degrees in science and technology. Well, under this present condition, in particular, hopefully there will be more investors in science and technology-based industries, and we will be ready to deploy these graduate scholars. In the meantime, we created a program which we call the SNT Fellows Program for R&D, wherein they will be taken in as fellows. Okay, so this is after their doctoral or their advanced or their graduate studies, and we will deploy them into our research agencies in DOST with, of course, a contract to serve. Okay, it's not a plantilla position, a contract to serve up to a maximum of 5 years, but no guarantee of a plantilla position. But they will be offered a compensation or some kind of compensation or allowance that will be better than the salary in a plantilla position. Okay, because they do not have the advantage of tenure. Next slide, please. This is getting Filipinos ready for emerging technologies through online learning courses. Again, another item in Big 21, which I would like to give credit to our regional offices. By the way, the help assistance to MSMEs and to the marginalized sectors are also in the hands of our regional offices. So this one was spearheaded by DOST Caraga. They were able to partner with Coursera, which is an international online learning program where the courses have been developed by shall we say, very prestigious institutions and companies like Yale University, Johns Hopkins, Google, and IBM. And they gave DOST Caraga some 70,000 slots for Filipinos to enroll in their programs. Okay, they have many different courses. For example, from the course on language learning, health, information technology, computer science, data science, and many of those who enrolled are decided to take up more than one course. So if you will see here, the total completed courses out of the 70,000 slots was 146,837 courses. Okay, and you know, because of the performance of our enrollees in these Coursera programs, this particular program managed by DOST Caraga was considered to be in the top, shall we say, rankings in the Coursera implementors. Okay, so this really was a big boost to our human resources who wanted to learn more, and particularly now that we are on various phases of quarantine. And so this one, which is an online learning program, proved to be very helpful. Next slide, please. We are now in item 20 and 21 of the Big 21, and these are governance milestones. Let me show you item 20. Okay, so this is coming out with an STI foresight document, and we credit this to the National Academy of Science and Technology, which is attached to the DOST. It's the development of a 30-year strategic plan. This will be good for 2022 up to 2051, okay, which is really a very good successor when this will be implemented to our National Science and Technology Plan 2002 to 2022, and that one will end next year. So this one is the new one that will cover 30 years. Next, and the last one, item 21, is a new set of books that we will come out in November. Actually, there are 11 that are being produced now to document our experiences, okay, in various aspects of the work in science and technology, from research and development to community empowerment, to human resource development, to international collaboration, to startups, and to disaster risk reduction, etc. There are 11 of these, but we will launch the first 5 this coming November during the celebration of National Science and Technology Week. So this completes. Is there any other slide? Any other slide? Okay, that is the end of my presentation. I think I was not able to meet the time allocation. I exceeded, but I think this is the only way I can present to you, okay, with a little more clarity what we mean by the Big 21 in 2021. Marami pong salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary, for mapping it out for us. So the Big 21 programs are DOST initiatives that have cross-cutting implications on several sectors. So kagaya po ng nasabi ni Secretary, we have 6 groupings. We have the new state-of-the-art facilities, R&D programs, products, and niche centers. We have the initiatives to address COVID-19. We also have productivity and empowerment achievers. We have enhancing human resource development and management. And of course, the last one is in governance milestones. The Big 21 programs address not only the need of the times, but also provide us the opportunity to shape a post-pandemic future. The Big 21 programs also mirror the hard work of our scientists, researchers, and engineers who have created and are still creating practical solutions. So now I know that many in our audience have burning questions regarding our Big 21 programs. So now we move to our Q&A session po. We will be entertaining questions from our friends and partners from the media, as well as our viewers from our Facebook Live and also in this Zoom platform. So if you have any questions po, you may type them in the comment box. So our first question po is from Ms. Nora Gamolo of Diario Pilipinas. And the question goes, ano po ang naging basis ng DOST sa pagpili ng Big 21? bakit po itong 21 na ito ang napili na ipahayag ng departamento sa publiko? Sir, Secretary?
Well, hindi naman kami gumamit ng rating sheet na mayroong mga percentages at criteria points. So kami ay gumamit ng participative, shall we say, decision making and judgment involving the secretary, the 3 undersecretaries, and the 4 assistant secretaries. So when we arrive at a consensus, marami yan eh. So botohan, pagka nag-unanimous kami, diyan ay nirank namin kung alin yung mga nag-unanimous kami at yan yung lumabas.
Okay, salamat po, sir. And our next question po is from Mr. Bonnie Dakayanan of Facts and Figures Tarlac. Papaano po makikinabang ang mamamayan sa mga naturang proyekto at ano po ang masasabi nating consolidated impact nila sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas? So maybe Secretary and our undersecretaries po.
Oo. Ano nga yung unang tanong? Paano makikinabang? Okay. Iba't ibang paraan, kasi kita natin iba-iba naman ang kategory ng ating Big21. Unang-una, yung mga facilities definitely will be very, very useful in carrying out new R&D projects that can discover new knowledge, okay? And new products, new technologies na eventually ay makakatulong din sa ating ekonomiya. Pangalawa, o kaya sa pag-solve ng mga problems. Pangalawa ay yung mga facilities na pwedeng gamitin. Okay? Hindi na kailangang bumili ang isang small enterprise ng sarili niyang facility kung nandiyan naman at pwede kang gumamit. Ika nga marireduce yung front-end expenses. Maaaring magbayad ka na lang ng fees on a per use or per time basis. Pero napakalaking ganansya niyan as a shared facility. And yung huli, which is parang consolidated impact on our economy, siguro ang ultimately ang masasabi natin diyan, habang napapalakas natin ang industriya at habang nasosolve natin ang mga problema na nagre-resulta sa mga losses, ay malaking kontribusyon yan para sa ating pagginhawa. Hindi lang naman dagdag na kita ang hinahanap natin. Hinahanap din natin yung mabawasan ang losses. Nandiyan na yung losses sa mga disaster, nandiyan na yung mga losses na may kinalaman sa sa pag-handle ng mga produkto na katulad ng agricultural products na ang losses ay mataas. At every stage in the value chain ay may mga losses at kung paano natin yan marireduce. Nandiyan yung mga packaging, nandiyan yung mga processing at iba pa. So maraming paraan, particular din kung ano yung proyekto at programa, maita-translate natin into benefits.
Salamat po, sir. And our next set of questions po is from Rizal Raul Reyes of Business Mirror. So on setup po, ang first question, what are the short and long-term plans of setup 4.0 to prepare the country's SMEs for the fourth industrial revolution? And are there new priority industries under this enhanced program?
Tatawagin ko po si Yusek Sancho Maborang dyan sa setup 4.0 kasi sila po ang nag-i-implement yan sa regions.
Salamat po, Secretary Boy. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Salamat po sa ating katanungan. Unang-una po, tama po yung nabanggit ninyo na ngayon po ay dumadaan tayo sa isang transformation. Simula po nagsimula ang setup noong 2002 hanggang sa kasalukuyan ay tumitingin po tayo ng mga puntos kung paano po ito ma-improve. At ngayong nga pong taon na to ay ilo-launch po natin yung transformation natin from setup 1.0 to setup 4.0. So ano ho ba yung gagawin nito at ano ho ba yung adhikain ng setup 4.0? So tumutugon na po ito sa pangangailangan ng ating mga micro, small and medium enterprises upang sa ganon ay makaagapay po tayo sa kanilang pag-comply or pag-observe doon po sa principles ng Industrial Revolution 4.0 at gaya po ng nabanggit sa presentation ni Sec Boy ay marami pong mga bagong teknolohiya na pwede po nating i-provide sa ating mga MSMEs. Nandito po yung big data analytics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, mga virtual reality principles. Nandito po yung robotics technology at mechanization. So ito po yung ating mga gagawin sa mga susunod na buwan at susunod na nakikita po natin na nag-i-improve po yung mga level ng MSME sa mga kanayunan. Hindi na lamang po yung simpleng teknolohiya ang kanilang kinakailangan, subalit para po maging mas competitive or globally competitive at mas innovative at productive yung ating mga MSME sa ituturo po natin itong mga bagay nito. Salamat po.
Salamat po, Yusek Sancho. The next question po is on CEST. Aside from the existing priorities of the CEST program, are there other areas that the DOST will focus on? And is gender empowerment part of the program?
Ipapasagot ko yan kay Yusek Sancho na rin at kung may maiko-contribute si Asik Dayan Ignacio tungkol naman sa gender and development.
Thank you po, Sec Boy. Salamat po ulit sa katanungan. Well, napakaganda po nung nangyayari sa atin ngayon on CES. So nakita po natin na hindi lang po tayo, dati po ay may 5 entry points, subalit ang ibang regions po ay nakita na kailangan po pong palawakin yung scope ng pag-i-implement ng CES. At may mga ibang regions po, babanggitin ko ang Region 3 na sa kasalukuyan ay may tinatawag silang expanded CES na tumutugon hindi lamang po doon sa 5 entry points na education, disaster risk and management, yung water and health, and livelihood development. Subalit, tinignan na rin po nila kung anong pwedeng itulong doon sa mga agricultural areas na that belong to the poorest of the poor communities. At dito nga po ay binigyan nila ng mga equipment, binigyan po nila ng mga kaukulang teknolohiya upang sa ganun po ay mas mapayabong po yung area at community sa area po ng agrikultura. Sa ngayon po ang priorities natin ay yung GIDA, yung geographically isolated and depressed areas. So napakalaki po kasi nito at tumutugon din tayo doon sa pangangailangan po natin, pangangailangan po ng mga indigenous people at yung mga marginalized community. So sa ngayon po, ito pa lang ang ating tinutulungan at na-factor na rin po natin dito yung katanungan tungkol sa gender and development at siguro po ay pwede po ito explain ni Asek Dayan maya-maya. So ito lang po muna yung aking may babahagi sa inyo. Salamat po.
Yeah, ang CES, ang isang programa ng DOST na talagang naka-streamline or naka-mainstream ang GAD. No? So nakakatuwa lang dahil widespread yan sa buong region na naka-integrate ang GAD sa CES projects. So in fact, recently, even the modules of CES naka-mainstream na rin sa GAD. And even the awards na ginagawa ngayon for CES, nandun din ang GAD component nito. Ang mga regions natin ay napaka-active no in incorporating GAD in its projects, lalo pa sa CES na sinusunod po nito yung Harmonized Gender at Development Guidelines sa lahat ng ginagawa nito. So sana po ay may patuloy din natin ito, hindi lang sa CES, kung hindi din sa ating mga programa sa DOST. Ang susunod nating tinitingnan dito ay magkaroon din ng GAD component ang ating mga GIA projects and some other projects of DOST. So actually, I would like to congratulate the regions for being active in integrating God in the way they do things, especially yung, if I may mention a few regions, Region 8, Region 2, Region 7, and some other regions. Marami pong napaka-active sa God. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you po, Yusek Sancho and Asek Dayan. Our next question po is on AMCEN and Amerial. What particular role will the AMCEN and Amerial play in boosting the technological capability and competitiveness of our local manufacturers?
So i-request natin si Yusek Rowena Guevara to respond to this.
Pwede pong pakiulit ng tanong.
Yes, ma'am. What particular role will the AMCEN and Amerial play in boosting the technological capability and competitiveness of our local manufacturers?
Alam nyo, sa panahon na ngayon, ang labanan na po ay yung tinatawag nating Fourth Industrial Revolution Technologies. Sa paniniwala po ng DOST, kasama po kami ni Yusek Sancho Maborang, since nasa kanila po yung set-up program, ay maaari po nating introduce itong Fourth Industrial Revolution Technologies sa ating mga micro, small, and medium enterprises. At yan po ay magagawa natin sa tulong po ng Amerial at saka ng AMCEN. Yung AMCEN, gumagawa po sila ng mga 3D printed na mga pwede pong mga prototypes at pwede din pong for manufacturing. At yun naman pong Amerial ay tutulong po sa automation, sa robotics po at saka yung ASTI po ay tutulong din po doon sa tinatawag nating artificial intelligence para sa ating micro, small, and medium.
Salamat po, Yusek Gev. Okay po, so the next set of questions we have from Ms. Bel Surara of Net25. On nutritional genomics, ano-ano po ang nakapaloob sa nutritional genomics sa programa ng FNRI na maaaring pakinabangan ng ating mga mamamayan at paano po ito ipatutupad sa lahat ng rehiyon sa bansa? Secretary, sir?
Ano nga, pakiulit mo nga yun?
Yes po. Ano-ano po ang nakapaloob sa nutritional genomics na program ng FNRI na maaaring pakinabangan ng ating mga mamamayan at paano po ito ipatutupad sa lahat ng rehiyon ng bansa?
Oo. Kung nandiyan si Dr. Imelda Agdepa ng Food and Nutrition Research Institute, ay ipasagot natin yung programa nilang nutritional genomics.
Yeah, yes, sir. Good morning, Secretary Yusek Gev and all the rest of the dignitaries in the online platform. Magandang umaga po. So sa question po na yan, ang nutritional genomics is actually sa FNRI ay nagdudwell po doon sa DNA sequencing. So kung malalaman po natin po yung DNA sequence ay doon po tayo maglalagay ng i-interpret natin po yon para po sa maagahang intervention kung ano yung mga foods o kaya diet na dapat tutugon doon sa specific na DNA ng isang tao. Kaya po sinasabi po natin na ang genomics, nutrigenomics is a prescriptive nutrition intervention dahil po pag nalalaman po natin na ito ay agad-agad ay meron po tayong early detection of the illness. Kaya ma-prevent po natin kaagad-agad kung ano po yung possible na mangyari doon sa isang individual po. So apart from that, we do genomic counseling. So doon po tayo magkakaroon o ipapaunawa sa individual kung ano ba talaga ang function ng nutrigenomics sa ating katawan. So doon po natin malalaman na kung ang isang tao ay merong tendency to be obese, ay doon po tayo kaagad-agad mag-intervene at magsasabi sa kanya na ganito yung gagawin and so on. So, meron po tayong dietary guidelines for specific types of DNA sequencing. So, ngayon po, ang ginagawa po natin ay ginagamit po natin yung datos na galing po sa National Nutrition Survey. So, kung gagamitin po natin ito, this represents actually a national estimates, and therefore, what is the major genes in the different nutritional problems like stunting, obesity, ay doon po nakikita kung ano yung sequence ng DNA at doon po tayo mag-dwell or mag-base ng ating guidelines, dietary guidelines po. So maraming salamat po.
Salamat po, Dr. Agdepa, our Director of DOST FNRI. Our next question po is on Virology Institute. Sa ngayon po, ano ang status ng proposed Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines at kailan po ito mapapakinabangan ng taong bayan?
Sige, pasagot natin either kay Yusek Geb o kay Dr. Jaime Montoya.
Si Dr. Jimmy Montoya at si Dr. Annabel. Thank you po.
Annabel, okay.
Good morning po sa lahat, kay Secretary FPP, kay Yusek. Ako ba mauna? Thank you po sa tanong. Sa kasalukuyan, ang ating BIT bill ay binabalasa pa sa Senate dahil ito po ay approved na po sa third reading ng Congress. So, ang aming bino-work out ngayon yung approval ng Senate and for a possible signing ni President Duterte before the year ends or before his term ends. And bukod pa dyan, merong VIP program na inumpisa ng DOST habang inaantay ang signing ng bill. So we have 8 projects under that VIP program at yung 6 ay sa kasalukuyang ini-implement ng ITBI at kayang isa dyan sa Big21 na projects na inilunsad ay yung aming BSL2 laboratory kung saan muna pansamantalang gagawin ang R&D projects nitong Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines. At kami din po ay nakapag-engage din ng itong balik scientists para tumulong sa aming DIT program.
Kung pwede ko lang dagdagan yung sinabi ni Director Annabel Briones ng ITBI. So maganda pong banggitin dito na kahit hindi pa ho na ipapasa ito ng Senado, although pumasa na po sa lower house, ay nagsimula na kami sa mga proyekto para ma-jumpstart po itong Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines na sinabi ni Director Annabel. Pero banggitin ko lang na bukod po sa pag-undertake ng mga researches na ito, we are now in the stages of negotiation with many institutions, research institutions po na kilala sa larangan ng virology sa ibang bansa para po talagang meron tayong partnership and collaboration with the leading virology institutes in the world. Kasama na po dyan yung pagkuha natin ng mga experts katulad ng mga kilalang virologists na based po sa ibang bansa na ngayon po ay tumutulong sa atin sa pagtatayo ng VIP. Ito po yung ating mga balik scientists na binanggit ni Director Annabel. Salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Briones and Dr. Montoya. Our next question po is on the VCO trials. Tungkol naman po sa VCO, ano po ang status sa isinasagawang clinical trial sa PGH at doon po sa Santa Rosa Community Hospital? Ano ang naging resulta ng mga isinagawang trials?
Unahin na natin si Dr. Montoya.
Okay, salamat Secretary. Well, unang-una, dalawang klase po ng pag-aaral yan. Isa po yung community-based. Tinitingnan po natin yung kung makatutulong po ito, ang BCO, na mapabilis ang paggaling ng mga pasyente nating may mild cases. So ito po yung sa komunidad lang po minamanage o sa mga quarantine facility. Tulad po ito ng ginawa sa Santa Rosa na natapos na po. Ang patuloy pa lang po doon sa community-based studies ay yung po sa Valenzuela. Yung po ay patuloy pa. Dinadagdagan po natin yung dami ng mga lumahok doon sa original na Santa Rosa study. Pero doon po sa Santa Rosa study may resulta na po yan. Napatunayan natin na mas mabilis po ang paggaling ng ating mga may COVID-19 kumpara doon sa hindi binigyan ng BCO. So doon naman po sa PGH, tapos na po yung pag-aaral, yung mga lumahok po ay tapos na po, na-follow up na sila, at tinitingnan na po natin ang datos na yan. So we are in the stage of data analysis po. Ito naman po, titingnan natin kung makatutulong ang BCO sa mga may moderate to severe infection po, yung mga na-ospital. So yun po ay nasa data analysis stage na po tayo at malamang po lalabas po yan anytime this month. So antabayanan na lang po natin yan. Salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Montoya. Our next question po is from Ms. Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA7. Can you please give an update on the use of Lagundi, Tawa-Tawa, and VCO on COVID patients? Are these now part of standard treatment of patients?
Dr. Montoya na rin.
Okay, salamat Secretary. Okay, salamat po sa tanong. Yung po Lagundi at Tawa-Tawa po, ito ba tinitingnan natin, katulad din po ng BCO, kung ito po ay kapag idinagdag sa mga iniinom o binibigay sa isang pasyente na may COVID-19, kung ito po ay makakapagpabilis sa kanilang paggaling, sa pagkawala ng kanilang mga simptomas at maiwasan ang paglala ng kanilang sakit o yung tinatawag na progression ng kanilang sakit. Yun po ang tinitingnan. Now yung sa Lagundi po, alam naman natin yan na yan po ay aprobado ng FDA para po sa ubo at sa hika, bronchitis and asthma. So tinitingnan po natin kung yan ay makatutulong sa, katulad na sinabi ko, maiwasan ang paglala ng sakit ng mga tao na mayroong COVID-19 o yung maagapan o mas mabilis ang kanilang paggaling. Dahil po napag-alaman natin based on literature na may antiviral effect o pumapatay rin siya sa virus, itong Lagundi. Ganon din po ang Tawa-Tawa, no? So sa Lagundi po, natapos na po yung actual trial. So wala na pong, tapos na po yung pagkuha ng mga volunteers. Pinag-aaralan na po ang datos at yung po inaantabayanan natin. Meron na pong preliminary result na nilabas pero syempre pinipi-review pa po natin yan bago natin ilabas. Pero definitely lalabas yan this month. At doon naman po sa Tawa-Tawa, hindi pa po tapos ang pag-aaral, yung pagre-recruit ng mga volunteers para po sa trial na ito. Pero katulad din po ito na Lagundi na sana po kung maganda ang resulta ay makakasama sa pwedeng inumin ng ating mga may COVID-19 para mas mabilis ang kanilang paggaling at maiwasan ang kanilang paglala ng kanilang sakit o tinatawag na disease progression na hindi na lumala ang kanilang sakit kung ano man yung meron sila dahil sa COVID-19. So yan po ay patuloy pa po. So hindi pa po tapos yung trial na yan. Pero sa Lagundi po tapos na at pinapa-review lang natin po yung resulta bago natin i-release sa inyo at sa lahat. Salamat po.
Dagdag ko lang, Doc Jimmy, pagkakaalam ko, lahat naman nung nag-participate sa Lagundi ay na-discharge na.
Yes, opo.
Napauwi na lahat, gumaling
yes.
na.
Tapos na nga po ang follow-up, so tama po kayo.
Thank you, Dr. Montoya and Secretary. Our next question po is from Mike Oliver Galang of PCOO Office of Global Media and Public Affairs. Magkakaroon po ba ng pilot testing ang breath SIM?
Breath ano?
Breath SIM, sir.
Breath. Oo. Andiyan ba sino ba nandito? Si
Dr. Paringit.
Si Dr. Paringit na. Okay.
Yes po, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Tungkol po sa breath SIM, plano po na ito ay magamit upang i-calibrate yung mga ventilators at yung mga iba pang mga devices na gumagamit ng hangin. Dahil ito po ay kinumpara na sa standard na equipment na ginagamit talaga sa calibration. So ang plano po dito ay kumbaga napatunayan na halos kapareho ng level ng pagsukat ng mga ginagamit sa mga ventilators. So ang susunod na akbang po dito ay ilalabas namin ito upang maging available sa mga gustong magpa-calibrate or magpa-ayos ng kanilang mga ventilator sapagkat nakikita namin yung potential nito upang malinang din yung iba pang mga devices na gumagamit ng hangin lalo na po yung mga sensitibo talaga, kailangan sakto sa pressure, sakto sa delivery ng hangin, at lalo na po yung mga ginagamit sa tao. Pero ito po ay pangsukat ng makina, no? Hindi po ito talaga diretsong ginagamit sa mga tao. So sa pamamagitan po ng mga iba't ibang inisyatibo sa technology transfer, doon po namin dadalhin yung kapasidad nitong breath sim na ito. Thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. Parinit. And our next question po is from Ms. Jasmine Romero. Regarding the technologies developed for COVID-19, alin po doon ang pinaka nagamit or ginamit? Na ma-maximize po ba ang mga technologies na ito, and how can they be used nationwide para ma-centralize ang data gathering? Lalo't hirap ngayon sa contact tracing efforts.
Siguro mag-a-attempt ako na sagutin yan, and I can be supported by Dr. Montoya. Para sa akin, pakalaga yung pagkaka-develop ng ating RT-PCR diagnostic kit na as early as April 5 ay nabigyan ng approval ng FDA, at napakabilis na nakareact ng ating mga researchers, no? Dahil meron na tayong platform for the research on diagnostic kits. At yan ay malaki ang naitulong. Pangalawa, yung ating na-develop na modeler, yung faster, na nagagamit para i-predict ang direction ng viral disease, ng COVID, given certain assumed policy decisions, okay, na po pwedeng magawa, ay isang napakaganda kontribusyon, at yan ay ina-adapt ng ating Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases. At sa tingin ko, yung ating mga dinevelop na iba't ibang mga gadgets at devices, katulad ng pag-deploy natin ng ating RX-Box, yung pag-develop ng robot na tumutulong, okay, doon sa ospital, yung ating ginawang specimen collection booth, at iba't iba pang mga facilities, ano? Idagdag mo pa dyan yung pag-aaral na ginawa ng ating Philippine Textile Research Institute tungkol sa face mask, at yun namang technology na ginamit ng ating MIRDC, ng ITDI, at ng FPRDI tungkol naman sa dyan sa kanilang mga face shield. Okay, so marami yan, pero yung unang dalawang nabanggit ko para sa akin ay napakalaking bagay. No? At sabihin na natin yung lahat na may kinalaman sa pagsasaayos ng travel, kasi tayo kauna-unahang tumulong sa PNP at sa AFP tungkol dun sa mga border control, sa mga pag-check sa pag-enter at paglabas ng lugar. Ano, ginamitan natin ng mga QR pass, at pagkatapos nga itong ating S-pass ngayon. So yun ang mga nakikita kong malaki ang naitulong.
Secretary.
Sige.
Yes, maraming salamat po. Tama po yung sinabi ni Secretary, pero gusto ko lang pong idagdag yung isa pang tingin ko po ay napakahalaga ng maitulong sa ating kampanya laban sa COVID-19, yung ating pong pagsuporta sa mga proyekto ng Philippine Genome Center. Kung inyong maalala, napakainit na topic po ngayon ang mga variants. Diba po, tayo po lahat ay natatakot dahil yung Delta variant na yan ba ipumasok na sa ating bansa, o kung ano mga variant pong yan. Gusto ko lang po ipaalala sa lahat na yan po ay hindi mangyayari kung wala po tayong Philippine Genome Center, at yung pong proyekto na gumawa ng surveillance po at na-identify natin ito mga alpha, beta, gamma, delta variant po, dahil po sa pagsuporta natin sa proyektong ito na ginawa ng Philippine Genome Center, at patuloy pa po nating ginagawa. So yun lang po ang may marami tayong aspeto na tumulong tayo sa COVID-19, pero isa rin po ito sa mga halaga na i-contribute natin.
Doc Jimmy, yung ating vaccine expert panel at saka yung task group on vaccine.
Opo, yung pa po. Yung hindi lang po yan, yung mga kaalaman, yung expertise po. Tayo po ang nanguna dito sa pagtatayo ng vaccine expert panel na kinabibilangan po ni na Dr. Gloriani at lahat po ng mga eksperto sa iba't ibang larangan na makinalaman sa COVID-19. At tayo po ang establish niyan, at patuloy po yung gumagana, nagtatrabaho para po tayo ay makapili ng pinakaangkop na bakuna para po sa ating bayan. So, ilan lang po yan sa ating na-contribute sa kasalukuyan sa laban sa pandemyang ito. Salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Montoya and Secretary. So we still have a lot of questions, pero this will be the last that we can entertain due to time
Sandali
constraints.
lang, Norly. Marami
Yes,
kasi
sir.
ako nababasa dito sa chat box na humihingi ng kopya ng PowerPoint.
Presentation po.
Tingnan na lang ninyo yung mga messages na yun para matugunan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you po. So ito po ang ating last question for this Q&A session. Out of the 21 projects discussed, which of the following do you think can be replicated in a municipal setup? And given the answer, can you state how can we connect with DOST?
Tanong natin kay Yusek Sancho, alin daw ang pwedeng ma-replicate sa municipal setup? Siguro yung may kinalaman siguro sa community empowerment.
Yun din po ang aking sasabihin, Sec Boy. Yung pong community empowerment through science and technology, ito naman po ay ating ini-implement doon po sa municipalities na sinasabi ko nga po ay mga depressed at nangangailangan po talaga ng science, technology, and innovation interventions. So ang may papayo ko po ay makipag-ugnayan po sa pinakamalapit na provincial at regional office. Meron po tayong mga website na kung saan ay nandoon po yung address at mga contact details ng ating mga kasamahan sa DOST. At kung ito po ay papasok doon po sa ating criteria, ay maaari po tayo makatugon sa pangangailangan. At gaya nga po ng sinasabi natin, ito po ay maaaring i-implement sa iba't ibang municipality. Salamat po.
Thank you, Yusek Sancho. And that is our last question for our Q&A session. Thank you very much for everyone's enthusiasm. We still have a lot of questions, but unfortunately, we still have a very little time. So for the questions that we were not able to answer, we will be getting in touch with you separately. And we'll also be sending out a copy of the presentation this morning. And now to formally close our activity, we have our Undersecretary for Regional Operations, Engineer Sancho Maborang, to give us his closing remarks.
Salamat sa iyo, Sir Norly. All Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our successful Big21 for 2021 launch. It is my great pleasure and honor to be here, gathered with esteemed people from different sectors, such as the industry, the government, the academe, and the media. All the UST's events, this launching as an example, are proof that every year, new ideas, information, collaboration, and innovations will continue to be created as we live our agency's mandate to provide central direction, leadership, and coordination of scientific and technological efforts, and ensure that the results therefrom are geared and utilized in areas of maximum economic and social benefits for the people. There are indeed more scientific ideas that are yet to be crafted. As long as there are still brilliant minds that are ready to take on the challenge of science and technology, DOST will continue to support and assist you to the best of our capabilities. In the face of pandemic, we can only turn to science to innovate alternative solutions so that our people can adjust to the so-called new normal. Of course, this was all made possible through our partnership with the local industries, local government units, higher education institutions, and state colleges and universities. Today's activity is just the beginning of a scientific journey ahead. May this launching establish multitude partnerships between various institutions. May these linkages help us craft sound and innovative policies based on the actual and ever-evolving needs of the people. I encourage you to take part in the recovery of our nation, led by the local technologies of the Big21 in 2021. Let us be development partners and continue striving to keep science at the forefront of our country's efforts towards recovery. If you want to know more regarding the 21 technologies and programs that we share with you, you may read into our Big21 in 2021 catalog. Here, you can look into further details on each technology. On behalf of the Department of Science and Technology, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for attending the Big21 for 2021 launching. Your presence is invaluable, and I appreciate each one of you for taking the time in your schedule to celebrate with us. To the lawmakers, government agencies, local government offices, and academic institutions, the DOST is looking forward to numerous collaborations with you or with your good offices. Let us continue serving the people through science, technology, and innovation. To the members of the media, we are grateful for your assistance in covering not only this launching, but also the rest of the DOST's activities. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for your assistance in disseminating our STIs to a wider readership and audience. I would also like to give my appreciation to the organizers and the hardworking individuals behind the Big21 for 2021 in general. There may be too numerous names to mention, but my sincerest recognition to our dearest Science Secretary, Professor Fortunato de la Peña, for spearheading this monumental event. Truly, you are a man of science for the people. Most importantly, my salute to the outstanding efforts of our local researchers, engineers, inventors, and innovators for creating high-impact technologies that provide benefits to every Filipinos, especially in the time of a global pandemic. Your brilliant minds made this launching successful, and I hope that we continue to work hand in hand in bringing SNT closer to every community for the years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my sincerest gratitude to everyone. I wish you safety, wisdom, and peace as we part ways. Let us create a better future for our fellow countrymen. Maraming salamat at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Yusek Sancho. So we've reached the end of our program. The DOST will be here to provide programs that are responsive to the needs of the sectors that we cater to. However, bringing science to the people cannot be accomplished just by our scientists and researchers and innovators alone. Bringing science to the people is everyone's responsibility. It will be done through the support of our leaders, policymakers, and of course, the public. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the DOST's Big21 in 2021, a compilation of DOST's responsive programs to address the country's current needs as well as shape a post-pandemic future through science, technology, and innovation. After this program, you may refer to the Big21 catalog that Yusek Sancho mentioned for information regarding the Big21 programs, and the catalog can be accessed through the QR code that is shown on your screen. And that will also be posted on our Facebook page. And you can also get updates about the DOST by following our Facebook page, the DOST Philippines, and by subscribing to our e-newsletters, DOST Digest, and Balitang Rapidos. So again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation in our virtual presser. This is the DOST Big21 in 2021. This is Science for the People. Please stay safe at magandang agham po sa ating lahat.
Sir Norly, okay na po. Playing CBB na po sa FB.
Thank you, Norly. Thank you
po.
Dr. Richard.
Mag-picture taking lang po tayo quickly.
All right. Thank you, Sec Boy.
Congratulations.
Thank you po.
Congratulations po.
Thank you, Sec Sancho.
Congratulations.
Doc Mayer,
Yes,
sana
sir.
nagpa-compose ka ng kanta para sa Big21.
O, di gagawin natin, sir. Launching pa lang naman ngayon.
Then December pa naman.
Oo, sige, sir.
Lloyd, ano na lang kami, heads up?
Okay po. Smile lang po. 3, 2, smile. Okay na po.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po.
Secretary Boy.
Salamat.
Sec de la Peña, magandang hapon po. Ay, umalis na.
Saan? Hindi, nandito ako.
Si Choi.
Oo. Hello
Sorry,
po.
Mama
Maraming salamat po. Marami kaming Sec Boy, pwede ako mag-react abong as?
Si Dr. Mamaril.
Madiling ng media.
Si Dr. Mamaril.
Oo. Napansin ko kasi na marami kayong mga science investments na pwede tayo mag-complement sa Department of Agriculture.
Oo.
Lalo na yung tissue culture lab ninyo sa Giginto.
Oo.
Kasi parang naiisip ko na pwede rin kaming maggawa ng ganyan, let us say, para sa ornamental industry ng Mindanao.
Oo. Oo.
Diba? Kayo sa Luzon, alam, maganda rin ang ornamental industry po ng Mindanao eh.
Oo, tsaka pwede naman magtulong na yung DA na nasa Mindanao at saka yung DA na nasa kung anumang region.
Kaya marami akong natutunan. Saka yung grupo nyo ng NICER, ng mga SUCs.
Oo.
Sa amin din kasi maraming humingi ng SUCs. Baka yung mga humingi sa amin, nangihingi na rin sa inyo. Nagpo-forum shopping, kumbaga.
Di balik kung fan shopping kasi maraming makukuha sa inyo eh.
Sa inyo nga, mas maraming nakukuha.
Mayaman daw kayo.
Mayaman daw. Actually, mas malaki yung pera ninyo sa R4D kaysa sa amin.
Yun naman ang trabaho namin eh.
Oo, salamat po.
Oh, pero tama ka, ang daming pwedeng mapakinabangan, ano? At pwedeng ma-replicate sa region. Gusto ko nga sana sabihin kay Yusek Sancho na yung mga regions na na-feature yung kanilang mga projects, pag-blow outin mo. Region 3, Region 6, Region
Sige po, sir. Sige po.
Kailangan mag-blow out yung mga yan. Nakasama yung kanilang mga big project.
Saka one question kay Dr. Jimmy. Ka-birthday, pwede ba? Binunyan ko na, ka-birthday, pwede ba magtanong?
Sige.
Ka-birthday ko yan, sir. Bakit niya pinapagigyak kahit kanino? Kaya nagtatago ako.
Sige, Choy. Ano yun?
Doktor Ray, tumatawa ka. Doktor Ray, tarin mo, pareho pa kami ng ospital kung saan ipinanganak. Taon na nga lang ako ng taon, ganyan.
Oo. Dapat pala ang pinangalan sa inyo, Carmelo.
Ako siguro dapat.
Tama, sir. Carmelo ka. Kasi Arlene po Carmel.
Ako po ay dating Carmelite sister. Umalis lang po ako.
Loko ka. Walang tatanggap sa'yo.
Kaya nga na-kick out ako.
Medyo
Jimmy.
May twist ng konti. Hindi ka umalis, pinaalis ka.
Opo. Pinaalis po ako. Yun ang
Pinaalis
totoo.
ka, hindi ikaw umalis. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Doc Jimmy, tatanong ko lang. Kailangan na ba talaga natin, tayong mga made in China vaccinated people, magbo-booster na ba tayo? Tayo yung mga nauna eh.
Teka muna, maghintay kayo at DOH ang nag-ano niyan, maglalabas niyan ng
Oo.
anunsyo, kung ano man yun.
Doon ako natakot eh. After 6 months, nagwe-wane na daw yung, bumababa na raw yung ating antibodies.
Hindi naman. Antibodies lang yan, hindi naman basihan ng proteksyon antibodies. Tsaka lahat ng bakuna ganyan na nakikita.
Kabagay sa lahat. Huwag matakot.
Oo, hindi lang sa
yun lang po.
Sinovac.
Oo, yung tanong ni Tina Panganiban Perez, nakakakabay yung tanong eh.
Salamat, Choy. Salamat.
So, maraming salamat po. Love you everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Lalo sa love, sa mahal kong ka-birthday.
Bye-bye.
Sige na.
Bye-bye.
Yung apo ko pinanganak ng kasabay ninyo. Ang pangalan Gabriela.
Talaga. Okay. Matalino yan, katulad ni Dr. Jimmy. Pag naging gago, ako yun.
Hindi ka nga.
Oras na tanghalian.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oo, para masarap naman ang tawa. Bye-bye po.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Yusek Gab and Yusek Sancho.
Salamat po. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Sek. Thank you ako sa ginawa niyo. Gusto ko rin may ganito kami.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Richard.
Bye-bye po.
Bye-bye.
Norly, thank you.
Thank you, STII.
Gabing-gabi na dyan.
Thank you rin po.
Oo, 12:15 na ng ating gabi.
Gabing-gabi.
Opposite ka, yung Rene.
Kanina pa ako inaantok kaya ako nagtatago.
Good morning ka na.
Enjoy, Yusek Rene.
Yeah.
Enjoy na
Enjoy,
tayo.
Yusek Rene, Sir Rene.
Enjoy sa baha. Enjoy sa baha.
Nahabol ng baha.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye po.
Recording stopped.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye. Lloyd, pa-end na natin. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Andas, ang una at natatanging all-natural derma antibody spray and skin sanitizer. Proteksyon laban sa virus, bacteria, fungi at insekto. Gawa sa pure oil at hydrosol o water ng citronella grass. Kaya natural ang ingredients ng citronella andas. Protektado ka na, banayad pa sa skin mo. Citronella andas, all-natural derma antibody spray and skin sanitizer. Another quality product of Richcore. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube Puno Sagip Buhay.
Citronella magtanim, maghanda ka. Huwag maawa sa lamok, patay na! Nang andas citronella,
Andas take it away.
andas citronella.
Natural take it away.
Safe repellent gamitin, lamok ay patayin. Tara mag-andas citronella. Mosquito, I'll kill you with andas citronella spray.
Mag-andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Mag-andas citronella.
Lagot ka, ika'y papatuyin.
Citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Mag-andas citronella.
Mosquito, I'll kill you. Andas citronella. Mosquito, I'll kill you.
Advance the Power Immunity Vitamin 1-Mune Advance. Ang 1-Mune Advance ay may quad power, may 4 times more immunity. Sangkap ay chlorophyll ng green leaves ng Lagundi Vitex Negundo at malunggay. May non-acidic vitamin C at zinc. Kaya advance ang kalusugan sa green. 1-Mune Advance, a support for a healthy immune system. Another quality product of Richcore. For inquiry, call or text 0919-000-1738, 0922-893-8883. Sundan sa FB page at YouTube Puno Sagip Buhay. Mahalagang paalala, ang 1-Mune Advance ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri.
Broadcasting live, this is your Pinoystream on AL Worldwide.
Your true sound is the West. First, only one. Pinoystream.
You're listening to Pinoystream, the best music station for Filipinos across the globe.
Broadcasting live, this is your Pinoystream on AL Worldwide.